Am I live? Am I live? All right. Hello, my friends. I'm coming on here because I'm particularly inspired in this moment to share three things. I want to share three things. The first thing is I want to share what is the golden shadow? Why do we keep it hidden in the shadows? And why is it so important in the world? And I want to share it while simultaneously sharing with you my golden shadow, because this is it. This is me expressing my golden shadow. So, what is the golden shadow? Well, this is something that has been coming out in my sessions with women lately. And it's been so alive and so exciting. Because what the golden shadow is that it's basically the truth of who you are that you may suppress. So it's your innate creative expression. It's basically what makes you uniquely you. So this has been coming up so much in my sessions lately with the women. It's been so exciting. I felt like, oh my God, I want a little bit of that too. So I've challenged myself to come out into the into the world wide web, come out live to share my shadow. And it's not like my shadow always stays in the shadows, right? My clients see this part of me, the truth of who I am. I show up like that in my intimate relationships, but I do keep it private, right? In the privacy of my own space. And why would I do that? Well, yesterday I put up a post about how my stepdad over the years has always had this story about me. Um, he when he's talking about me in front of other people, he'll say, she's always been a ham. And he'll tell the story about how I was doing cartwheel. We were in Mexico on a family trip, and I was like 8 years old, and I was doing cartwheels out in front of the restaurant. Well, for me, I was just being myself and having a great time doing cartwheels, not necessarily worrying about what anybody else thought. I was just being my fully expressed self. Here I am. And as a child, right, that's who we are. We're just like, here I am, unless something happens that causes us to shut that down, right? So yesterday, uh, I created this post and I basically said, here I am. And it was like high sensation, because it's coming out of the shadows, moving beyond the fear, and saying here I am is it's incredibly vulnerable, right? It's so vulnerable. So what happened after I did that is I got to uh, hear the voice in my head, that inner judge, right? And it's the inner judge that shuts us down from fully expressing our most authentic creative self every day, all the time, right? Out in the world, on the web, why we're not on the stage sharing, if that's your thing. Or from doing what it is that you really would like to be doing, but are afraid to, right? It's that inner judge that keeps us all safe, right? Because that inner judge is here for a reason. It's not a bad guy. It's really when you come right down to it, it's your inner protector, right? It's your knight in shining armor. It's keeping you safe by keeping you small, right? It's keeping you in your safe little container. For me, it's keeping me in my safe little container in my one-on-ones, helping lift other people up while staying safe and small in the background. Well, so how does that serve me? Well, my inner judge has been doing this for a long time, right? I set this inner judge up a long, long time ago when I was a little kid, right? Because turns out I was the only little hippie kid in my elementary school, and there I am, 6 years old, coming into small town Texas school from basically from a little hippie household, and I was very different than all the other kids. And so all of a sudden, it didn't feel so safe to be my fully expressed self because that was just weird and unusual. And so all of a sudden, like I uh, thought, oh my God, there must be something wrong with me, right? Well, I set up that defense mechanism early on, like, oh no, don't go expressing your here I am too loud or you'll be judged. Well, that safety mechanism keeps on going. I'm turning 53 this week. And I still have that seated in my brain, right? Because it's doing its job, and it's going to keep doing its job until I die, probably, because it's a very important job, right? It's really like a part of my survival. So when I started hearing that voice going, oh, Kathy, you just outed yourself as a show off, basically. And why would you do that? The very dangerous thing we've been telling you not to do. Now you're going to be judged, right? Because there are so many more important things going on in the world right now. How dare you be so um out there and so and so happy and so joyful when there's so much shit going on in the world right now. It's really selfish and all the things that the inner judge does. So I just started examining that, and instead of allowing it to beat me down, I started thinking, okay, what exactly is my inner judge afraid of, right? And really, what it's afraid of is being judged. But why? Because if I'm being judged, then I'll be cast out, right? And when I look at that and I'm willing, instead of fearing being judged, if I'm willing to allow myself to be really judged for being myself and allow that to be okay, like, can I just sit here and like really feel the intensity of the worst possible level of judgment coming at me? Like, oh, like what would it be? Like all of Facebook, anybody that saw my post, like coming in and going, you are so self-centered and such a show off. And and can I allow myself to like breathe that in and feel that worst possible condemnation of whatever that is, and feel the high sensation of that. So I did this. I did this. I stopped and like I allowed myself to feel the high intensity feeling of being judged. And I just took it in, and just like, no, I am willing to feel this. And I just felt it. I felt it. Without judging it, can I let that land in my body? And it's almost like, can I survive that? It's like proving to my mind, like I can survive the worst possible thing, right? So yeah, so getting through the inner judge. And the inner judge has a reason, has a purpose, right? It's just trying to keep me safe from being destroyed, utterly destroyed, killed, abandoned, rejected, all the things. Well, then I started examining how would my most authentic self, my golden shadow, be of service to the world? How could that part of me that I've felt like, oh, how could the show off or the ham actually be of service to the world right now, right now? Oh, and of course it's of service, right? Because what is the ham in me ultimately doing? Well, it's inviting you to come and play. It's saying, hey, come play with me. Hey, let's have some fun. Let's enjoy life. Let's bring joy back into this broken world, right? Let's bring the joy back together, right? Because what is that ultimately doing? It's ultimately a return to love. It's a return to love, which is my life's purpose here, is to be a part of the shift in human consciousness from fear, which is where the world is at in all the ways and all the shit that's gone down, all these millennia, but it's heightened. It's at its height right now. I want to be a part of the shift in consciousness from fear to love. And how can I do that the best possible way is by being my authentic self. That is the invitation to come back to self-love and self-appreciation, and to come back into the wholeness and the self-acceptance of our own true nature. Because ultimately, when we are whole inside and accepting ourselves in all the parts of who we are, and we put ourselves back together, we are being the change we want to see in the world. And what happens is we then reflect that out, and we all become an invitation for others to do the same. You know, I do believe that this is a self-reflective universe. So being the change that you want to see in the world is our ultimate responsibility, right? Because as you change your inner environment, you become a reflection of that in your immediate environment, in your relationship, right? Your partnership, in your relationship with your friends, in your community, and ultimately in the world. And if we're all doing that, ultimately loving ourselves for who we are and allowing our golden shadow to be expressed, well, then what are we doing? We're all grabbing hands together and putting the world back together.